Welcome to the Point 101. I'm your host, Gail, and today we're diving deep into a topic that touches the heart of every parent and guardian: God's promises for our children. Join me. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I am back, and what I am going to do is go ahead and share this reading, uh, Disciplining for Our Children, New Ways. And then that way, when Sweet Lips and I come back, I can actually talk about the game. We will give us, we will give you our own points on what happened to our lovely boys, okay? So, with that being said, allow me to log in here. First, let me just put this WhatsApp number in, okay? For those who would like to call in, you can. Okay, there you go. And that is for the WhatsApp number. And then here, if you would like to follow this link to join the live, you can. Just trying to get it all together. I'm just trying to get it all together for us so that we can get this going. And then I can come off here and wait for Sweet Lips to join me, and we will discuss what happened with yesterday's big game that fell apart. Oh, guys, that whooping was something. It was just something for the books. But I'm gonna hold off, and we're going to talk about that later. Okay, hold on one second here. Mm-mm-mm. And hello to Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. But just one second, we are going to read because I'm done crying. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened to my poor boys. I'm telling you, I know what happened, but we will discuss it later, okay? We're not going to go into that right now. We are going to get into, um, if you hear my dog snoring, do forgive me because this one here, he snores a lot. And so he's laying there and you will hear him. So nothing I can do about it. He's just a big boy that snores. Log in here so that I may see any comments. And then I will begin to read so that we can get ahead a little bit. Okay. So, angry or aggressive child. And we all know that we have those children that are either angry or very aggressive. And so, hopefully this reading will give us some type of insight on what are we to do and how do we fix it. Because let me tell you what I just truly, truly believe. I truly believe that when a child is very aggressive and we don't address it, then we are missing some type of underlying problem. I do agree with that. But when we don't address it and they go outside of our doors and they display that type of aggressiveness and anger onto someone else's child, then we have problems. Then that's when the problems set in because we have not addressed it. And it's not fair to the child. And then the next thing you know, you have possibly the schoolhouse and outsiders putting this label on your child. And then suddenly you become aggressive and angered. And as I said before, anything a child sees at home is what they will display out the doors. Okay. So, anyways, let's just get into this so that Sweet Lips and I can come back and boo-hoo for you. Okay. So, anyway, angry or aggressive child. My child seems so angry all the time and becomes very aggressive when she is angry. She hits her sister, argues with me, kicks and throws her toys around, and is generally in a bad mood. Even her teacher complains about how quickly she loses her temper. What can you do with an angry child? Now, understanding the child, yourself, and the situation. There's a difference between experiencing a feeling and displaying emotion, such as a temper tantrum. Anger is a feeling that follows the belief that you can't get what you want or that you are powerless in a situation. It can also be a cover up for hurt feelings. Children who seem angry may be frustrated with their parents, other children, themselves, life, or other people who are angry with them. Children may think that no one is paying attention or to them considering their feelings. Children usually have good reasons for feeling angry, even if they don't know what those reasons are. Do you get that? And are you getting a better understanding? Because I just got an understanding. Children usually have a good reason for feeling angry, or even if they don't know what those reasons are. When children are bossed and controlled, they have no choices. They will probably feel angry. Children who are overprotective often feel angry. If adults abuse children either physically or verbally, children will feel angry. When adults, I said adults, because sometimes we do have a way of taking our anger out on our children, and it happens so many times. And that is why I just do believe that CPS is overloaded in cases, because whether it's mental, financial, sometimes as parents, we tend to take our problem out on the weakest one around us. And who is the weakest? It's always going to reflect back to the children. Sometimes it reflects on the elderly when, they're just so, you know, I want to say incapacitated that really dementia, they're bedridden, no one else is checking on them, and elderly abuse happens. Okay, so you see how that trickle down effect happens. And 9 times out of 10, we as parents emotionally, physically, financially, sexually abuse our children. And it is happening so much. I'll tell you, I can't even think of a time that I'm on my news feed on social media. It's become a depressing media. But you just have these fathers that are abusing 6 month old, 3 year old, you name it. So we're not going to act like what I'm reading right now is false. It is truth. So, and if a child sees his parent reacting to a display of anger, feeling by being aggressive, he will do the same. So, if they see us becoming aggressive and acting out of anger, again, I will say it again, a child displays what they see at home. If you are angry, if you are always at each other's throat, flinging things, and this is all the child sees in that household, you best believe when that child go out that door, they will display that same behavior. Now, parents often respond to anger and aggression with more attempts to control and with intimidation, making the situation worse. If you or your child feels angry, there may be a power struggle going on, a power struggle. And it's important to know from the power contest and work for cooperation. See? And sometimes, we need to get away, and I'm one for it. We need to get away from that. Do as I say, and not as I no do as I say and not as I do, or or I brought you in this world and I'll take you out, or oh, I pay the bills in here, so it's my way or the highway. That to me is part of the generational curse. To me. Now, here are some suggestions. Validate your child's feelings. You're really angry. It's okay to feel angry, but can you tell me in words instead of actions who or what you are angry about? Wait for the child's response and listen with interest instead of saying, you shouldn't be angry. Is that making sense to you? Because it makes sense to me. And to me, allow the child to say exactly what that child means. A lot of times we do this mess of, no, 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 that's not what you mean. That's not what you mean. No, they are saying what they are meaning. But if every time they open up their mouth to express themselves and you decide that you want to take away their voice, because when it's all said and done, you really don't want to hear the truth about you. And that's what it's all about. So if the child said, oh, I'm mad because you smacked me, and then suddenly, no, I didn't smack you. No, this, I just did like this. Or you become aggressive. Like, that's not what I did. If you want to see me slap you, I'll give you a slap. No. Because basically that child is afraid to express himself because you don't took all power away from them. And when you take it and they go outside and somebody else takes it, so who do they turn to? They're powerless and frustrated, just as you are. But you have taught them how to become aggressive. Here's the second one. Sometimes children can identify their feelings when they are upset. Let your child know it's okay to wait a while and to talk with you as soon as he is ready. I believe that's important too. All that, well, I'm going to ask you again. Next time I ask you, you know what I mean? Now, all of a sudden, the punishment is even worse because you're looking for a quick answer me right now. Well, if I'm frustrated, Allow me time to calm down so I can process my feelings and get rid of that feeling of fear. Like, if I don't say what you want me to say, then it's worse. So to me, it makes sense. The third one, you can help your child diffuse her anger by finding out, perhaps through guessing, what she wants and helping her obtain it, such as you're angry because your sister gets to stay up late and you wish you could too. When you are her age, you'll be able to stay up as late as she does. Don't choose sides when your children fight, because this is one of the primary triggers for children's anger. Instead, put them in the same boat and say, kids, I see you are having a hard time working this out. You can take some time to cool off and then try again later, or you can both finish this fight somewhere else, or you can work it out here, but I'm not taking sides. A lot of the parents, and we know that is true, play favorites with their children. You tend to play favorites. Oh, this one act like me, and oh, this one look like me, and so whatever it is that she wants, that's what I'm going to give her. Oh, this one looks like the father, and I can't stand him, so whatever happens to you happens. We can't do that. And plus, that breaks that bond between the siblings. That should be airtight. Now, if you have children who argue, try letting them have the last word by hugging them instead of arguing back. Ask your children for their opinions instead of telling them what to do. When you recognize a power struggle, stop and say, I don't want to control you, but I would appreciate your help. Let's see what we can work out after we calm down. See that? So now you're opening up suggestions to your children and you're saying, okay, well, what do you think? Let me get your opinion. Because like I said, a lot of times we take that opinion, that voice away from our child. And so to me, that's a lot of the cause for abuse also, because we take that power away and we take that voice away. And then when something happens, they're afraid to open up about it. They're afraid to come and communicate with you that someone just physically, mentally, or sexually abused them. So here's another one. If your child is hurting others with his aggressive behavior, let him know you realize he may be feeling hurt and upset about something, but you can't let him hurt others. If your child is young enough, remove him from the situation and sit with him, helping him talk about what is upsetting him. If he is older, say, I love you. Come get me when you're ready to talk, and then leave. If children need to sit down together to work out a problem, sit with them while they talk. Sit with them. Because to me, that lets them know that you are there for them and they are your first priority. And I would really like to, get to some type of resolution instead of just leaving you trying to figure it out. A lot of kids, I know with my titi, when he gets upset, he loves for me to just hold him and rub his back. And when I'm rubbing his back and talking to him and asking him what happened, and that is something that I have learned early before even reading this book. It's just once he comes down, he will tell you. He will tell you. Avoid reacting to aggression with aggression. Hear that. Avoid reacting to aggression with aggression, which creates a power struggle and models the opposite of what you hope to achieve. Also, avoid reinforcing aggression by giving in to it. I see that. And that goes along with, to me, man, pick and choose your battles. Like everything is really, it's not a battle. If if my child is upset and they're flinging things and I don't know what's wrong with my child, and now I'm upset and I'm cussing and I'm flinging things, I am showing my child that that is the correct behavior. That's what you're showing your child, that that is the correct behavior. So, planning ahead to prevent future problems. Look for places you may be inviting anger. You are sticking your nose into your child's business, such as lecturing about schoolwork, friends, clothing, etc. Do you nag your children instead of setting up routines and following through? And that's something that I don't believe a lot of us are doing. We are not setting up a routine, but we are constantly nagging. And the sad part about it is a lot of times because we don't know no better, because that's what was done to us. And that's that generational curse that we continue to just set a pattern to use. Like, so my mother yelled at me, and if I said, wait, let me just tell you, then that meant, there will be corporal punishment following behind that word. Or, you know, if I said I don't agree with you, that meant I was being disrespectful. And we all know what happens then. So to me, this makes a lot of sense. If they are frustrated, don't you become frustrated as well? Because you are just you're defeating that purpose of trying to resolve the problem, okay? Because when it's all said and done, you are the problem. 9 times out of 10, you are the problem. So, um, do you use punishment instead of focusing on solutions? Do you make demands instead of requests? Children respond better to it's time for dinner than come to the table. Set up family meetings so your children know there is a place and time that each week where they can talk about the things that's bothering them. And I think that right there is so important in every household. In every household, set up a time and a day that this is a day that we bring everything to the table. And then that way we are all on the same page. If something that your sister or brother is doing that's nagging you, and maybe they're not respecting your space, maybe they're stealing your money, your clothes, you know how siblings can be, toys, calling you names. I think now, whereas before, well, oh, you're ugly, and it didn't bother. And now, suddenly, those words this day and time mean so much. It means so much. Like, I came from the era of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. To now, your words can get you hurt. So, family meetings to me make a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Use limited choices with younger children instead of telling them what to do. Involve children in creating routine charts so that the chart is the boss and not you. What is positive discipline? On how to involve children in creating routines. Children feel even more empowered when you ask them, what is next on our dinner time, bedtime, morning routine chart? So a lot of times, and I used to watch the Super Nanny, and she had reference to this, and then I said it made a lot of sense, and I still believe it makes a lot of sense. If there is a chart and you are going over the chart, like a lot of times the chart itself have all the answers, and you involved your child. Okay, So the bedtime is at 7:30. So do you understand what time the bedtime is? Okay, what does the chart say? So you have to be in the bed by 7:30. So how long is it going to take you to get that shower or that bath out of the way? And so, you start practicing. Okay, so it takes you 15, 20 minutes. So if you start at 7 o'clock, then you know that your bedtime is at 7:30. If you take your bath or shower at 6 o'clock, then that gives you more time to play or watch TV because that shower is out of the way. So you see how a lot of times you can reference them back to that chart. So homework is from this time to this time. So why are you watching TV? Let's go to the chart. And after so many times, like what's the consequences? So what do you think the consequences should be if you keep not keeping up with your chart, if you keep breaking all of these rules? Sit with your child, and while you're making a chart, also discuss. Now if I have to tell you this and this and this, or not even say tell, because for some reason when you telling somebody something, people, they get an attitude real quick if I tell you, because it sounds like you're in charge. How many times have I asked you? So I'm asking. And so that lessens that power struggle back and forth. A lot of people don't believe that you should give your child that type of control. But to me, it's not control, it's options. It's options. So when your child is in a good mood, mention that you notice she is often angry, and then her ask for help to think of a way she could show her anger that wouldn't hurt anyone. Suggest a pillow she can punch, or listen to a tape of her favorite music, or finding a special cooling off place. For the older children, suggest they write down what they are angry about, or draw a picture of their anger. I kind of agree with some, but I disagree with suggest that a child can punch a pillow. Like you shouldn't be punching nothing, because I don't know. To me, if I'm sitting there looking at this child punch and punch and punch and punch and punch, to me, the more you punch, you're building that anger right back up again. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that. And how many children have you seen walking up punching walls and punching lockers and punching car doors? And, no, I don't agree there. Okay. So there's a lot that I agree with. There's a lot that I don't. And I don't agree with that. Now, if you are a single parent, avoid any derogatory comments about your child's other parent. So important. Yes, it is. It is. Because that is the first thing we do. Oh, you just like your no good father. Oh, you look just like your no good father. Oh, you walk like him. You talk like him. I can't stand him. So I can't stand you. Again, and you don't even have to be a single parent to say it. It happens in a two-parent household as well. You're angry at your spouse, your child, you look just like your father. That's all he do. We need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that. Okay. Now, this often results in a great deal of anger within the child against one of the parents. And I can see that. Like, I look so much like you and she don't like you, so she don't like me. And it's your fault. It's your fault. Now, it can also result in aggressive behavior as a way of striking back at the perceived offending parent. Do not talk to your children as if they were another adult. And I truly believe in that. Sometimes we take our children and we put them into adult situations. and then wonder why they act as if they're the adults, because that's the position that we put them in. Remember that. And so here, don't be afraid of your own anger. Don't be afraid of your own anger. Learn to say, I am angry. You provide a good model for your children when you express those feelings in words instead of with display of temper. If you're angry, and sometimes just saying, I'm not having a good day, I'm not. But when you're not, also remember to take yourself on a timeout. Like go to your room, call someone, see if they can come and sit with your children, you know, take a walk, do some shopping. It usually makes you feel better. No, but you need a timeout. Now, model respectful ways for dealing with your own anger. Use emotional honesty. I feel blank about blank, and I would like blank, modeling time out until you can calm down and handle your anger in a respectful way. So when you say, oh, I'm having a bad day at work, or, I'm just feeling bad and I need to take some time out for me and I need you to do what you're supposed to be doing. So when you say I'm angry and I need a time out, I need time away, then your child will know if I'm angry, then I need to have my own space just the way mom or dad did when they were angry. To me, oh my God, that is perfect. Now, limit the amount of time spent watching television as it is filled with violence. Monitor what movies your children see. Have discussions with your children about the violence in the video games and in the music. Make your thoughts clear, but listen to theirs too. And I think that is so important when that's something that we don't do a lot of. Monitoring what our children are looking at on their cell phones or computers, the TV, especially these video games. On top of it, all the music. We just say here and that's it. Makes a lot of sense. Now, life skills children can learn. Children can learn that what they feel is different from what they do. That is it. It's okay to feel angry, but not okay to hurt others or to act disrespectfully. It is taught at home. You cannot wait for your child to go to school and have the teacher teach your children all of this, because this is something that they should have learned at home. And a lot of us as parents, we just sit down. Oh, what a teacher didn't tell me that. Oh, I'm going to wait for them to get up to that. So who the parent, you or the teacher? Because you make their job that they're underpaid for a lot harder. Now, children can learn that they can have power and control over themselves and their lives. No one enjoys feeling powerless, and children prefer to know how they can contribute and succeed without having to fight for their needs. Now, parenting pointers. There's a difference between aggression and assertion, and it is important to help children learn the difference. Teach children to ask for what they want. Listen to their opinion. Show children how to get their needs met without putting someone else down. And that's a big no-no. When you sit there and ridicule and disrespect and doing the name calling, that child will take that same behavior. As a matter of fact, that's how the siblings get into it. They heard you do it. They seen the pain on, the brother or sister's face when you were saying it, and they come right behind you and pick up where you left off. And the next thing you know, they are going at each other like animals. So there are some things that you just look at. Back in the day, They said, oh, that's just sibling rivalry. Today, they are unliving each other. The siblings are unliving each other. They're doing it. They're doing it because the times are different. And this is the reason why we continue to try to bring new ways of parenting, try to implement new ideas, because that old school way of thinking and learning, it is the reason why that grave is so full without children. They don't know how to cope. They were never taught, hey, it's wrong to hit. Or, like I said, you see it happening so much. And a lot of times you can try everything that I just read, and there's an underlying health problem there. Really, really. There's, what did they call it? ADDH. There's so many abbreviations. Um, and there's a lot of mental illness that's hereditary. That's a generational curse that you have to, truly pray and work to break it. So a lot of times when there's a lot of aggression, there is a underlying problem that needs to be addressed. But let me tell you what I am not a fan of. Every time they sneeze, and every fight that they get into, and the next thing you know, you have somebody on the back of you talking about put him on medication, put him on medication. Some of our children are just over medicated, because guess what? A lot of us that do that lazy parenting, we rather put them on medication to slow them down and have them walk around like zombies instead of dealing with the problem. And then suddenly, every medication that you are on, there's a side effect when you come off. If they're not weaning you off that medication, especially anything, to me, and this is just my opinion, that alters the brain. Oh, this will slow them down. And the next thing you know, your child is just walking around like a robot. Okay. Oh, I'm tired. Like, they can't even move. They can't even think, because half the time they just want to close their eyes and sleep. And a lot of times, they just believe that that's the answer. Medicate them. The answer is get down to the root of the problem, and the answer is stop it before it gets that far. And so, not all anger is displayed. You may have a very angry child who holds all his anger inside. Look for signs that might include withdrawing from the family, passive aggressive behaviors, and drug use. And the ones that hold it all inside, to me, they are the worst ones. To me, those are the ones that hold it all inside, and then they come back and they knock on that parent door, and the worst happens, because suddenly, they just burst at the seams, and everything starts to replay back. And I believe that is happening to the ones that go and unlive their parents, because that is happening so much. And the crazy part about it is, when you read about it, it is normally the ones that are in their 30s and 40s that's doing that. Like, it is the craziest thing. And sometimes, we sit there and like, why would someone that old go and commit such a heinous act on their parents? That's the one that held it in. That's the one that never expressed how they really felt. That's the one that the voices were taken away. And the abuse kept on. And they know, like, there's no one for me, there's nowhere to go, there's no one to talk to. And so I'm going to take this until I cannot take it no more. So the ones that's sitting there holding it in, and you see they're withdrawn from people around them, all they do is sleep, and, they don't want to play. Like, pay attention to your child. Pay attention. But if you yourself, I say it again, if you went through trauma and drama, get yourself that help that you need to break that generational curse, so that you do not inflict that same trauma onto your child, or you don't have someone else coming in your door in the name of love with their own trauma, inflicting abuse on your child. Because guess what? Two abused people, like, you're abused, I'm abused, I have trauma, you have trauma, we done birthed a little trauma, and now we're inflicting this trauma, and we think it's right until we have who? Someone from the other side of the law, CPS, you have caseworkers coming in and out. And somewhere along the line, with all those caseworkers that come in and out, and they are supposed to be there to keep that child from being harmed any further, they themselves went through some type of trauma or drama that they didn't even get help for. And then the next thing you know, an innocent child is gone, because everyone failed that child, and that child fell through the cracks, or that child is sitting there in the worst condition for the rest of their lives if you don't get them the correct help. If you know that you have been through it, get the help that you need, so that you will not inflict that same pain in the name of love onto your child. Okay, so I am going to stop right there. And so look at this. So our next discussion is attention deficit disorder. We're going to get down to the bottom of this. We truly are. I'm telling you, we're going to have so much awareness here that when it's all said and done, we will change the way we parent for the better, for the good, for the love of our children, okay? We will stop emotionally and verbally inflicting pain on them, okay? And so when they go outside our doors, we know that, this is not what they're displaying outside. We're getting them that help and showing them, like, hey, if the crowd you're hanging with lying, stealing, and cheating, that is not where you belong. You have to build that self-esteem up in your child so they would know the difference and not follow that crowd. But having that conversation with them in a calm manner, and not, I may not catch you with this one. This one's no good and that one's no good. And the same talk that you're saying that person is no good is what you're doing. So your child looking like, well, they ain't no good. You know what I mean? And the minute they say, well, you do it, the next thing you know, you all upside their heads. But we're going to stop right there, because it's time for Sweet Lips and I to come back here and discuss what happened yesterday. Yeah, don't miss that one either. Travis, you and I have some talking to do. Anyway, I don't know where you're going, but you already know how this go. I don't know where you're going, but you got to get out of here, okay?